Twitter is rolling the dice on retail. The social media company is teaming up with Walmart to host a shopping live stream to kick off Cyber Week. Celebrity musician Jason Derulo is hosting Sunday's event. Users can buy products in real time featured in the live stream through Twitter's Shop tab. So will this partnership pay off for Twitter? Let's bring in Sahil Bloom, tech investor and former VP of Altamont Capital Partners. Sahil, great to have you with us. You're saying that basically the dollars made on actual transactions, that's sort of a sideshow. It's the live stream, right?
Yeah, this is a big deal. And first off, thanks for having me. Really happy to be back. And look, Twitter is finally innovating. After 10 years of just stagnating and languishing as a product, they're finally showing an ability to innovate and roll new things out. That's the big deal here. We all know live stream shopping has become a huge thing. It's already taken hold in China. A lot of American brands and companies are looking at it and saying, is this the new big mega trend within e-commerce? And now the platforms, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, are all trying to get in on it. And how can they participate in this massive mega trend that's happening?
If you don't follow Sahil on Twitter, you should. It's one of those must-follow Twitter accounts. I'll ask you this, though. The stock Twitter has been a brutal stock to own now over the last 6 to 9 months. Does this finally move the needle, in your opinion? I don't want to play stock market here, but I think this is actually a pretty big deal for them.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the question. And look, I think that for Twitter, the reality is there's the business and the stock. And the stock has really, if you look over the last 10 years, basically treaded water. But when you look at it today, they're finally innovating, as I mentioned. And so when you think about this, it's just one more piece in the puzzle for them. It may not be the one big thing that vaults them into this massive future, but it's a sign of their willingness and their ability to actually ship new product and innovate. And for them, what's been holding them back is, frankly, the ad monetization. The platform, the ad stack relative to Snap, relative to Facebook, has lagged. Direct response advertising for them is a tiny share. They haven't been able to draw signal out of that overall platform and allow advertisers to make that trade and actually give them that money and give them the ad spend there. And so for them, as they innovate on new product, what they're going to find is it's going to do two things. Number one, DAU growth. You're going to have creators able to create more engaging, more enriched, high-value content on the platform that's going to keep people reading. It's going to drive new users. And then number two, there's going to be more signal. As people are actually engaging with these new products, you're going to have advertisers able to actually target more effectively, able to rationalize moving that direct response advertising dollar budget over from other platforms and to Twitter. And that could be really meaningful for the stock long term.
So what happens if this live stream attracts a lot of viewers? There are a lot of eyeballs associated with it, but there are no transactions, or the transactions are very low. I mean, I'm just wondering what will make this sort of thing a success? Because I don't know if Twitter wants to be in the business of live streaming content and competing with the likes of a YouTube in order to get ads to monetize that live streamed content.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, frankly, for them, it's just going to be about it being a seamless experience. If people come in, if they're engaged, if they're staying on the platform, they're not jumping all over the place to different platforms during it, that's going to be a win. If it's engaging content that keeps people there, keeps people scrolling, if people are tweeting things during it, enjoying the experience, you mentioned it, but Jason Derulo is going to be on it. It's supposed to be a sort of entertaining experience. And if Twitter can show that they can compete alongside the Snaps, the TikToks of the world with this, that's a big deal.
All right, Sahil, great to get your analysis on this. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And again, you can follow Sahil on Twitter. It's a good follow. Pete, what do you say about Twitter? Is this a big deal?
I think it's smart that they're jumping into it, Mel. Whether or not it's a big deal is whether or not they can actually do all the things that he was just mentioning, which is, are they going to get more engaged? Are people going to be as involved as he's expecting them to be? If they can get that, then yes, this is something that actually does move the needle slightly. I don't think it's a monstrous type thing, but I do think this actually does bode well for Twitter, and I like the fact that they're willing at least to try this. And that's something where I think what they have stumbled for a long time has been they just haven't been able to go out and get that much more innovative than they already have. They've been stagnant for a long time. I think this is at least an opportunity to see where this can go. And if it actually hits and they get engagement and the innovation factor of this whole thing, this really could actually be something fairly big, I think, for Twitter.